The story of a teenager who lives on a space station in the future with her parents and investigates some suspicious activity.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Luis,
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 101.
Dalmatians.
101. We're number 101.
Would that have been smart if we had
Didn't we do that movie
made
already?
episode? Well, we did one of the versions of that movie. We could have done the live action one, I suppose. Oh well.
We didn't feel like it.
This week we are talking about the 1997, 99 Disney Channel original movie Zenon, a girl of the 21st century.
You know about it.
Not
21st century, y'all.
Also, I have something to say. I've been calling these Disney Channel original movies DCOMs, but apparently this generation of Disney Channel original movies is not called DCOMs.
Well, I saw some conflicting information on this. They called them the Zoog.
Yeah, the Zoog.
Disney Channel original movies.
I don't know what that stands
They
for. Zoog?
yeah, on Disney. It was called the Zoog Disney Channel original movies. And I think it's because they have their original crop of Disney Channel original movies in the 80s. And I think
like
that was
Zenon, right?
Yeah, well, no, up to like 89 or 94 or something like that. And then at some point they decided to retitle them, and they came up with Zoog because that's something fun
Zoog.
that the kids would like, I guess.
I like those Zoog movies on the Disney Channel.
The Zoogies.
I have zero understanding of what are you saying?
Yeah,
What?
it didn't make a lot of sense to me either, but
You know how like there's Disney Channel, there's like Disney classic movies, and then there's like Disney Renaissance. I
get it.
I think they were trying to make
get
it like
it,
that.
but I don't get it.
I mean, I don't get it either, so I'm still gonna call it a DCOM. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's do our first impressions first.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give my first impression first because after we had done Smart House, I kind of didn't want to do any other DCOMs because it wasn't as good as I remembered, and it didn't hold up for me. So I was kind of done with DCOMs. Like, I liked Johnny Tsunami, that was okay, but Smart House really ruined it for me because that one was one I really liked and it didn't hold up. I don't remember much about Zenon besides the Zoom 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 song, and I'm so happy we did it because this movie was dope and it held up and I liked it. I was super happy. So I ship DCOMs again. They're okay.
You ship them.
They're okay.
You ship them with us.
Yeah, they're all right. I kind of want to watch Zenon the sequel and Z3. Not gonna lie, I might do it. We'll see.
There's 3.
Apparently, I remember seeing 2, but I don't remember seeing 3.
This is the first Disney Channel original movie to ever garner a sequel. Yes, it was called Zenon the Sequel. It came out in 2002.
2, and I think the other one was 2004.
Yes, I believe that's correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a
All right,
fun.
that's my first impression. I need to know Luis's. Luis, first impression of Zenon. Have you seen it before this?
Yeah, I did. I saw it when it barely came out back in 99.
Back in the day.
Yeah. It was okay. I didn't really have too many.
Okay, old man negative.
Was I negative?
He did it.
But was I
That's
positive?
not an opinion.
No.
It wasn't positive, but it also wasn't. It wasn't negative.
I don't know if it was an opinion though.
It was
It's
okay.
definitely an opinion.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. All right, Emily, first impression.
Lowercase, okay.
Lowercase, okay. Like just the letter OK or OKAY. There's a difference.
Your lowercase spelled out okay.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty meh.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I liked it a lot, actually. I have the same first impression you do, Michelle. I thought I was not going to like it. I didn't think there was going to be a whole bunch of substance.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they were, fighting to honestly stay alive, I was like,
It was sick.
okay, this is serious business. I mean, I guess in Smart House, she wasn't going to kill him, right?
It just wasn't as it was
This one was
very
pretty intense.
kiddish. This one I was like, oh, okay, an adult could watch this and like it. Like,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, once you get past like oh my gosh, Major. Ah,
Yeah, we'll get into that.
pretty good.
The language for
And the
sure.
song, the song holds up, y'all.
Does.
My heart was
Song
going
does
boom,
hold
boom,
up.
boom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
I am the supernova girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I
I don't know what I
mean?
mean.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Emily. All right, Andre, first impression.
Yeah, first impression, this movie was dope major. You know, it was cool. It was fun.
It was not Cetus Lapidus.
Cetus Lapidus.
Cetus Lapidus means oh my god, I'm pretty sure, right?
It was
It
bad.
was not inky.
It was
okay?
bad minor. You know, it wasn't that bad.
Bad
It
minor.
Was,
It was bad minor. What minor?
I liked it a lot.
Andre is also a supernova girl.
I am a supernova girl, just like everybody else.
Supernova girl.
I think the fact that this movie is set in the future, it's set in 2049. It really just pushes all of the fantastic 90s lingo and technology that they're using in 2049.
With their old janky computers.
It's hilarious.
With their ergonomic keyboards, I'm like,
Yes.
oh.
This looks like it's from the future, right? Let's just curve the keyboard just a little
Their
bit.
bugs that sounded like supersonic.
Yes.
Ridiculous, dude.
Fantastic. Yeah, so what I say? Dope major.
Dope major. Dope
Major.
major.
Dopular.
All right, so before
That was more Johnny Tsunami.
we get into this episode, I had to start with first impressions. We have an announcement to make. Emily, take it away.
Huh?
Take it
Anyway.
away.
Oh, guess what, y'all? You asked, we're giving it to y'all.
Mm.
Well,
We would have
merchandise.
given it to them even if they didn't ask.
Oh, we were going to give it to you. Yeah.
Right.
X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. We've been singing that all week.
He gonna give
We're really confused as to what he's going to give you.
Something.
Well, we're giving you
I know what
some
we're-
t-shirts, okay?
That was family friendly.
Hey, maybe he was giving you a juice box. You don't know. Okay.
You don't
Shouldn't
know.
take a juice box from him.
You know what? Exhibit was on that other show that I liked. So Exhibit was cool. Anyway,
Okay.
long story short, we are giving you apparel items, my friends.
That's
Apparel
right.
We have
We have-
talked multiple times about wanting to get merchandise out to you, but after episode 100, we were like, it's time. So with our new logo, we have a couple different options. So
logo.
this is a look at our black logo t-shirt
Boom.
design.
Check it out. This is our
Check it
brand new logo designed
By Emily.
by Emily.
Boom.
Actually, all of these shirts are designed by Emily.
True.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta
Next
give credit
one.
where credit's due. This
Yeah.
is
Moving
all
on.
Emily.
So we
Oh,
also have
sick.
the white version of our new logo.
So in no way am I saying that Andre's computer or our internet connection is bad, but it looks a little fuzzy. I'm gonna throw it out there. It's not fuzzy when you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It looks okay to us.
Because it looks good to us. But yeah, it's not
Okay, cool.
no fuzzy
Yeah.
logo.
None of these shirts will be fuzzy. They will be soft, though. I'm pretty sure.
Ain't no fuzzy logo.
Okay, well,
This isn't a Chewbacca. Let's move on.
yeah, that was my line.
Oh,
It's so good. This one is a tribute to Michelle, and episode 71, we talked about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and if you haven't listened to the hilarity of Apper, you need to go back.
Although
because-
I've been saying it way before that episode.
Oh, for
Right.
sure,
way
but
before.
It's christened
it's
in that episode.
memorialized.
True.
It becomes monumental in episode 71.
I bet if we ask listener Mary Angela, she'll probably remember the exact moment I said it, and she'll probably buy the shirt.
Yeah, I found that exact clip. It was in episode 71 at like 11 minutes or something like that.
Good stuff, though. You got to go back and listen to Apper.
Apper. Okay, moving
Next
on.
shirt is.
Days before bays. This
Pretty
is
sure this one's my favorite, y'all. So
This
we
is my
talked
favorite,
a couple
too.
different times about Nays before bays. Disney horses are the business. Not only are they the ones keeping our heroines and heroes
Yeah.
out of trouble, but they're also the coolest characters because they're so dog-like. So hashtag Nay Before Bays, and we have all of your favorites here. And if you don't know one of them, look it up. These are the good ones.
Yeah,
I
all
love
of these
how
horses.
you put Maximus first, Emily.
Hey,
I like that Frou Frou made the cut from the
Hey,
Aristocats.
Frou Frou is cool, okay?
Frou Frou's legit.
We love Frou Frou. I love Pegasus, Bullseye. We got a good Philippe. You got Khan. You got Samson and Angus, okay? All very good nays.
Very good nays.
Very good nays.
Indeed.
They're the goodest nays ever.
Let's move on. Hashtag always snacking.
Always snacking.
Just like you know we are.
We actually were snacking before this episode started. It was very fun to watch Andre and Michelle. We kept asking what they were eating.
It took us so long to start the episode that the snacking has since ceased.
Snacking? No, we're
hashtag always snacking, never ceasing.
Yes.
We love snacks.
That has the logo right in the middle. I really like that one.
I like snacks.
And our last shirt is possibly the best shirt that we have. This is our Old Man Negative shirt, and it's got himself
dressed as Anger.
Dressed as Anger from Inside Out, and he's looking mighty angry.
Yeah.
And
go ahead and show the back of that one.
The back is his famous quote: "I'm not the grumpy you need. I'm the grumpy you deserve."
So funny.
So it's not the exact quote from episode 100, but it becomes more applicable to all the grumpy people out there. If you'd like to rock this shirt out in public, people will understand why you got the grumpiest man on the front of your
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Luis is the new grumpy, okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
They have so many shirts at Disneyland with grumpy on them and like a quote on the back. And I think that's where Emily was trying to go with this.
I love it.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Luis, get back on the screen.
It's fantastic.
He's out of here.
So if you want to have Luis on your shirt, you can head over to our link, which will be displayed in the show notes below if you're on YouTube or on your podcast app if you're listening to us. Click that link, go there.
We'll post it on Instagram.
Check out the shirts that we have available and buy them up. Emily, how does it work exactly?
So the coolest thing, it really is pretty legit. You click on the link, and when you get there, you get to choose your apparel option, and then you get to choose your apparel color options. So like right now we're looking at a gray t-shirt, but Andre can go over and he can select a couple different options.
Try that
color
yellow
of the shirt.
Ooh.
Or he can change it to women's slim fit or a racer back or a crew neck or a long sleeve or a hoodie. He has all kinds of options to pick what apparel item fits best for him, but also the color he likes. So you guys have a couple different options. Everything's customizable so that you get exactly what you want. So
Andre's getting a sweater.
I'm trying to be comfy, baby.
I want crew necks of everything all the time. So we hope
crew
you guys
necks and
enjoy.
everything to show.
And if there's anything you need, you just let us know, DM us or email us, and we are here for you.
We will help you.
This is cool. This is awesome.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm very excited. Yes, so head over to the bonfire. Check out our shirts. Check out our merch. Go there. Hit them up.
And it will be open for about 3 weeks.
Yes. Yes, and then you will receive your items at the same time as the rest of us, which is kind of cool.
Right before the 4th of July.
We can all have Luis's face on our chests at the exact same time.
That's very patriotic of him.
Yeah.
You know?
4th of July with Lou.
Yeah, man.
That'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. So let us know what you guys think. Emily will post some stuff on Instagram. Let us know if you're excited, what you're going to order. Hashtag Nays Before Bays. I'm all about. Can't wait to wear it on casual Fridays at work. It's going to be sick.
I'm going to wear it every day at work. I can wear whatever I want to work.
Yeah, you can't wear whatever you
want. Yeah,
want.
but, you know. You've got special circumstances right now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to work quite as often.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not going to work, so.
Yeah.
Just me. Wow.
Hey, rock your shirt
nice.
in your own house, y'all. Do it. Okay. Back to Zenon, girl of the 21st century.
Oh man. So let's get into our main actress first. Her name is Kirsten Storms. I used to think she was so cool. And I also used to think the way that Zenon dressed was so cool. And the funny thing is that the way she dresses would probably be in right now. I would for sure dress like Zenon if I went to EDC or something. I don't know. She still got style. She still looks good, man.
With her,
it still holds up.
Her Zenon outfit?
A lot of times you see these early movies and you're like, God, what are they wearing? But I guess because she was wearing spacey stuff, I was like, all right. This is
Marnie in Halloween Town, I'm always like, oh, girl, stop.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, you're right. Totally.
I mean, this outfit, it's
good.
I guess it's inspired. You could say that for sure.
It's good.
It's not bad.
You know what? And
at the end of the movie, I even looked at Luis and was like, we are going to be them for Halloween. Like, I'll be Zenon, you be Protozoa.
Oh my gosh, that would be epic.
Can you imagine if we like spiked his hair? Like,
yeah.
And get you a silver duster jacket? Yes.
I'm about it.
Play.
Is it good or is it like so bad? I don't know.
It's
No,
very
it would be
good.
so
I
good.
like it. I'm very into
And
it.
honestly, this movie has a stacked cast. So we got Kirsten Storms, who has now apparently been on General Hospital for like 1,000 episodes. Like 18 years she's been on daytime General Hospital.
What was her character?
That's a
On
good
General
question.
Hospital?
Yeah.
I don't know. We watched a clip from it though, and she said Zetus Lapidus, and it threw me off. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. But yeah,
I don't know. Let's find out.
They filmed so many
It was on
episodes.
Days of Our Lives, not General Hospital.
No, she's on.
She's
I thought
on.
she was on General
I
Hospital.
believe she's on General Hospital.
Yeah.
General Hospital
Go
star
back
Kristen
up. It
Storms.
said Days of Our Lives.
Maybe she's done both. Where'd
maybe.
you see Days of Our Lives?
Right
at?
here, stop. Her IMDb right there. Actress, Days of Our
Okay.
Lives.
Oh.
You know what? She might be on a lot of daytime shows, but she was on General Hospital for 1,000.
Oh, she was on General Hospital.
Oh yeah, but she was on Days of Our Lives from 2000 to 2004.
Oh, she played Maxie. Okay, so she played like the daughter of Sonny Corinthos, the
Hang on.
drug
Emily,
lord,
why do you know this?
New revelation. You watch General Hospital?
and Carly. I think that was their kid, Maxie. No.
I have zero way to confirm this.
I don't watch General Hospital. You do?
Isn't that the show that's been on since like the 40s or 50s?
For
yeah, I
sure.
think
My
so.
grandma used to watch General Hospital.
That's how I know it. I used to watch it with my mom, and the fact that I used to watch it when I was like 7 or 8 with my mom and know this, it's pretty sad, right?
She's
But look at
literally
this.
still on it right
at
now in 2020.
She started General Hospital in 2005, and she's still on it right now. But in that
18
time, she's done 1,254 episodes.
They have like a new episode every day, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And she was on General Hospital Night Shift.
Oh,
Okay.
spin-offs. How
There's a spin-off.
many
Dude,
episodes are that?
She was on Kim Possible, Bonnie Rockwaller.
Can't possible.
Yeah, I think she did a fair amount of voice acting
Call me, beat me,
work as well.
Beats High Miami, one episode.
She
Days
was
of Our
on
Lives.
Season Miami.
Belle Black. I mean, I didn't watch Days of Our Lives, but
She was on
She was on That's So Raven too. I like that.
Yeah, a
like
Raven,
an episode.
a Raven Zenon reunite.
You know, they used to do that a lot. So
Yeah, indeed.
Anywho.
okay. Anyways, Kirsten Storms. I mean, she making her money. She's still doing her thing. And then the other. I mean, obviously Raven Simone is on there, but I remember that Lauren girl who played Maggie Harper.
Yeah.
She was on so many Disney Channel stuff.
Right, she was always mean.
Yeah, she was on.
I remember
She
being
was
mean.
always
mean.
in every single one.
Always.
They really cast her to type. I wonder if she was a mean little girl.
And then this must have been like one of the first things Raven Simone did.
Well, she was on the Cosby Show when she was like 4 years
Well,
old.
I know, but I mean like before
But
That's So
for,
Raven.
but for
like
Disney, for sure. Yeah, I think this was one of the first things.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Stacked.
so cute.
Lineup.
And then this guy who came in as the young hacker kid a little bit later, he was X-Ray in Holes.
Mhm.
See,
I looked at Luis and was like, "We know this kid. Where do we know this kid from? It's freaking me out." And he's like,
Yeah, see, I didn't get that until Andre told me, and I was like, oh.
it's funny because so many of these people looked really, really, really familiar to
Right.
me, and I really can't.
Bob Bancroft.
Yeah, I can't figure out if it's because of this movie and my childhood is just stuck in there somewhere, or if it's because I've seen them in other things. So
I
don't
think
know.
it's a little bit of a mix.
Well,
Plus,
I mean, what about Protozoa? Like, has he been on anything? Philip
don't know, but-
Eyes.
He's definitely cuter with his silver hair. Like he didn't.
yeah.
Well, he looks the same.
Who rocked it when he was up in there? You know,
Wait,
getting it with the
I was-
supernovas.
I was saying that his accent was pretty bad, and he's actually from England.
Oh yeah, that was his real accent.
Oh my gosh,
I-
Louise!
I think I could tell that he was British, but it's very
Like,
funny
that's
that
the
you.
first British accent I ever heard.
Oh, he was in Doctor
He
Who.
was on an episode of Doctor Who, so he is actually British. We're right. Just like every other British actor.
Yeah, he's not doing much.
You're not British, so you're on Doctor
I
Who.
mean, he's working. He gets in a project every year. Look at him
He was
go.
in the Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And CSI
He was in
again.
Glee.
episode of Glee.
One episode.
You know,
Background character.
Oh.
He was in
Survivor.
Survivors.
Shark. Do you remember that TV show? I love that.
Shark.
TV
No, I don't.
It had
Oh my gosh.
the guy who played Hades. What's his name?
James Woods.
It had James Woods as like a down and out detective. I mean, what else is new?
Love James Woods.
I love him so much.
Just getting his work on.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, this movie had a stacked lineup, and I think that was part of it. Like, it probably gave these people their careers. Well, especially
Greg.
The Seventh Heaven kid, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
Gregory
weird.
Smith,
Everyone,
and he played Greg.
Doesn't say Seventh Heaven anyway.
Luis was very upset with this kid. He was like, he looks hecka creepy. He's always staring.
Oh,
Yeah, some of their shots in this movie make them look kind of
Just like,
we're gonna talk about creeps. We got to go to
Bob
creep
Odenkirk.
number 1 and creep number 2 over here. Our bad guys,
yeah.
Lutz and Wyndham. Every time Wyndham winked, it was the most disgusting
I
thing
wanted
I'd ever
to
seen in my
throw
life.
up. Literally, Emily, stop. I literally wanted to throw up every time he blinked. It was bad. But let's go ahead and
it was pretty pervy. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Correct.
Let's get into our storyline. So we're introduced to Zenon Carr. The year is 2049, and they're living on a space station that has apparently been in orbit for 27 years.
Yeah.
So, we could be on a space station like tomorrow, y'all.
I mean, close.
Close enough, right? What's 2049 minus 27?
22.
27.
There you go.
22. Yeah, okay. 2 years from now, we be on a space station, okay? And they're on this space station because they're doing some research about
Space.
bio stuff in space. Yeah, they don't really get into like what research they're doing, right? It's just some research.
I mean, anything you do in space is research.
That's true.
Farting in space.
That's very
That's
true.
research.
So we're introduced
can see
to
that.
Zenon and her best friend
Hate
Nebula. I like how I'm just ignoring this. I'm keeping going. And her best friend Nebula, and apparently Xenon's like the troublemaker of this space station, right? She's getting into mischief. She's basically Harry Potter, but on a space station. Like, you're not supposed to be out of your bed. You're not supposed to do this, Harry Potter, but you keep doing it. Okay, Zenon, get it together. And Nebula is like Hermione. She's like, come on, don't do it. Stop it. Gonna get us in trouble. Gonna get us in trouble, Zenon. Yeah, she's like the troublemaker. What? What'd you say?
Luis is paying attention to the kid outside again.
It's not the same one. I just got distracted.
It's okay.
He's distracted, like Zenon gets distracted in her history class,
Yes.
where the history teacher's talking about President Clinton, who was president at the
Right.
time. But it wasn't Bill Clinton. It was Hillary
Chelsea
Clinton.
No, it's
Chelsea
Chelsea Clinton,
Clinton.
the daughter.
Chelsea, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
That was
Hillary
pretty
is
cool.
not mentioned at all, which is
No
kind of
Hillary.
funny to me.
Chelsea Clinton, who's
And
the president, and she's apparently super cool because she's chartering underwater vegetation
Biofuels.
as fuel and energy.
there's a lot more futuristic stuff that's going on in this movie, and we're not at that point yet, which is scary. We should be, right? We should be.
I mean, hologram teachers, that's probably going to come out in the next 5 years, right? Based on our current
Let's
system.
be
man.
real. Let's be
Pretty
real. If
much
everything's
already.
online, I feel like Luis is pretty much a hologram up there.
There's a
Just put it
hologram
out.
teacher.
Exactly.
Luis,
Yeah.
you a hologram. That's nice. Sick.
I really liked that Zenon in this history class, she comes in, she sticks in one of her AirPods or whatever, and she immediately connects to like the internet to listen to like a radio show.
It's like what I seen every single day in school.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
basically.
I bet this happens.
She had like AirPods. It was like an AirPod.
Mhm,
She was like,
exactly.
yeah.
Never in
so,
my class though, but
Zenon is very
worse.
never in my class, he says. Zenon is very excited because a singing group from, Earth is going to come to the
Terra
space
firma.
station.
Microbe.
Oh, yeah, microbe. See, I knew about Protozoa,
And
and I always just thought that's what it was called, but I
ROB.
forgot it was a band called Microbe.
And Protozoa is the
Is the
main,
lead
The lead
singer.
singer. Mhm.
Yeah, his name is Protozoa, Mr. Zoa.
Mr. Zoa. Protozoa, Mr. Zoa.
They really didn't get too far with that analogy. Though.
And Zetus Lapidus, they're coming to the space station.
First rock concert in space.
Pretty sure
And
they're
they do
kind
that
of popping.
high-pitched screaming a lot in this movie.
yeah.
I don't want to do it. Hurt
It's-
your ears.
But wait, if nobody can hear you scream in space,
Mm,
are they even listening to anything over there?
philosophical
that was a
question.
very bad analogy.
Oh my gosh.
Been listening to anything.
No one can use scream in space, but Microbe is coming, okay? And you're really excited with all your girlfriends, so somebody's gonna hear this scream.
You know, and you know who I feel bad for in this movie? What is like the captain's name of this space
Commander
station?
Plank.
Poor Commander Plank, man. Zenon and Nebula are always screaming. He's always running into him, and he just looks like he's about to lose his marbles 24/7.
Dude, that's a stressful job.
Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't want that shit.
It's also really weird. Like, okay, so the fact that this space station
I said
exists
shit.
and
It's kind of like a school.
and all of these people are on the space station performing experiments and whatnot, that's perfectly fine. That makes a lot of sense. The fact that they let all these people bring their kids to the space station in space. Let me remind you how dangerous space is. If you're in it, you die. That's what space is. So the fact that they're in the space station with all of these children is nuts. And which we haven't gotten to
Their
yet.
security ain't good.
Holy moly. Kid is outside of the space station with no clearance whatsoever.
Okay, well, let's get there. So Zenon.
Like, okay, hold on, pause. Xenon's friends, oh my god. Nebula's cool, but then she has these two guy friends. And the one guy friend is honestly just there for like 2 seconds. The other guy friend is like, he's a little bit of a, right?
Wait, do that again. What is he?
He's a little bit of a,
All right, we're gonna clip that
I
right
remember
there
that?
on Instagram.
you don't remember that from the Lego movie?
No.
You know, he's kind of like,
Anywho, whatever. Okay.
Mary will appreciate it.
Yes, Mary Angela will appreciate that. Anywho, long story short, so the friend, his dad has like all the command codes to like open up all
he
these
must be like
high
a tech
clearance.
person on
Like-
the ship.
Dad, why are you letting your kid have access to these codes? And if
Right.
they
got
keep
parental
breaking into
controls?
places, why aren't you like doing better security on your codes, bruh?
Yeah, they don't keep track of their kids. And it's kind of like a school, right? Like they all eat in the cafeteria and they all have like morning announcements and like it's just weird, right? So basically at their morning announcements at breakfast, they're like, yes, you guys have heard the exciting news that Mr. Wyndham is coming. They're not talking about Microbe like Zenon thought. And he's like this billionaire dude who apparently funds this whole space station
It's from
because,
his company.
you know, you can't live on a space station without money, and that is a fact. And he's going to come and check everything out and
That is a fact.
as a fact, and see if he wants to keep this project going, right? So it's a very, very important visit. And right away, Xena makes a comment like, why is he coming to the space station? Like, don't you think he could just do that from Earth? It's kind of crazy. But there's a whole coup going on that we'll get into. And I don't remember what sparks this in Xenon's brain, if it's the fact that Mr. Wyndham's coming, or she, quote unquote, wants to understand her parents' research better, but she just decides to go into space.
Oh, no, it's because
Why did she do that?
Because of the solar flare.
yes, there's a solar flare
Oh, it's
that's
solar
happening.
flare.
So Xenon's like, hey, y'all, hey, 13-year-old friends, let's all go watch the solar flare. And they're all like, yeah, cool. And then
And
Xenon takes it a
potentially
step.
Die.
Yeah, Zenon takes it a step further because she's like, okay, well, we're not just going to like watch the solar flare through a window. That'd be stupid. I'm going to get
Boring.
into a 2001 style spacesuit and go outside of the space station to see the solar flare, which is one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen a child do in a Disney movie.
And also, this scene was so long. It didn't need to be that long. It was like Xenon in space floating. And then cut to the friends. And then Xenon.
No, but seriously, the dad and Zenon were looking back and forth for like 20 minutes. Like,
It was so bad. I literally was like dead silent as all this was happening because I couldn't look away. But I think that scene was like 7 minutes and it like did not need to be at all.
I think they were
So
But
have
like,
you guys
Dad,
seen
when he
the
sees Xenon,
videos
it's just like
have you seen the
because there's no talking, just body
oh,
language.
shooting stars.
Have you guys seen
The meme videos of shooting stars.
okay. Have
I
you?
don't think so.
It's like usually it's the song like I'm in love with the shooting star and it moves so fast. No, anyhow,
No.
and it's usually like a cat or a person.
oh.
I don't
okay.
think
Like-
I've seen that.
It would have been fantastic if Zenon had been doing a shooting star meme. I realize it's like 20
Make
years.
one, dude.
But I think I'm gonna make one.
Yeah, do it.
I think they were just like really impressed
20
with
years
their
in the future,
special
20
effects.
years in the
at
past.
the
Well, and
time.
also they were like, this scene's gonna have no talking. You're just gonna float in space. It's gonna be all body language. And so, like I said,
music.
when the dad sees her, he's like, I think this was the worst scene to me in the whole movie.
Zenon.
Like
I agree.
it was very much the worst scene, but also quite funny that I couldn't look away. Like,
What a little troublemaker.
all of us are like, there's no way. But to a kid, I bet when I was a kid, I was like, she's in space, you know?
So, okay, so I have a question. Have you guys seen the movie Passengers?
No.
Yes,
Okay.
we have seen that with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Really good.
So we really liked that movie. I don't think a lot of people did, but we liked it. But it's funny
It was fine.
because we watched that relatively recently, like definitely during Shelter in Place. So when we were watching this scene, we were like, okay, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, where he goes out there. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally
So
the
we were
same thing.
talking through the whole scene, so I didn't notice it being as awkwardly long. But now that you say that, they did shoot back and forth between Dad and Zenon like 5 or 6
Go,
Way too
I'm
many
telling
times.
you, Emily, go back and watch it and see how long it was, because it was bad. Oh my gosh.
Nah.
You're like, now we good. But it's Dad reels her back in, and she gets in trouble, but not nearly as much trouble as she should have gotten in. Like, they didn't even really punish her at all.
Let Luis rant right now about
Okay.
the parents. Well, the dad, really.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
I get so irritated as a father how they always make the dad be a bimbo bobo. Like, come on. No wonder his daughter defies all orders and is always, walking all over him with whatever he says not to do, she'll do, because he doesn't have a damn spine.
Okay, so I kind of said the same thing, Luis, when I was like getting a snack when this part was on and they were like punishing her. And I was like, wow, they're making the mom seem like a bad guy and the dad seem like he's like the best friend. And I looked at Andre and I said, this is why parents have to be on the same page when they're disciplining their children. And that's the truth.
I was like, we don't have any children.
Well, if we did.
I'm just mad that they always in Hollywood make a dad look like a dummy. And
Right.
everything you see.
He was like, but
he's the
that
goody
solar
goody.
flare though.
Right. He was nerding out just as hard
Which,
as
I
me.
get it, but like, there's a time and a place, and I was like, ooh, yeah.
not for
If
your
that
kids,
was Adeline
literally.
outside of over there, she wouldn't have gotten a word out of me. All she'd be getting is my scold.
Just the scold.
Luis, show us the scold.
You don't want
No,
to.
you don't want to
Dude,
see it.
today, he did it so serious at Adeline that it was fun. It was so scary that I laughed because and then Adeline started laughing because I was laughing, and Luis was
Uh-oh.
like, "Stop laughing! There's a I came
That is
to,
so
like,
funny.
man. Ooh, dad scold. Ooh.
Yeah. So the dad.
Yeah, my dad scolded my dad. Ooh, he was scary. Scary.
Yes, my father was also terrifying. But yeah, this dad.
Now they're not because we could beat them up. They're walking with their canes.
My dad could definitely still beat me up.
Yeah, he definitely
Dude.
could.
Dude, my dad would whoop me in no
Big
time.
time.
Oh
my
my
dad
gosh.
would kick my ass.
He got a
I
bad
tried
knee.
wrestling with him like
I got a
2 years
couple
ago.
of his
He hurt
weaknesses
me.
I could attack, but yeah, he'd hurt.
What,
me.
like turn off his AirPods? Oh, your AirPods are dead.
No, I'm saying he got a bad knee. He jacked it up.
Oh, bad knee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, you don't have a bad knee.
Knee strike. Yeah, that's true.
Andre pulled a muscle in his back. He was down for the count yesterday.
Anyway,
So,
let's move on.
maybe I shouldn't fight.
The dad makes the mom put her stress helmet on. So that was
Dude, I literally was like, what is she putting on? Is she a wizard? It's like a Halloween costume, like fabric-y thing that she stuck on her head and it has
Yeah.
like,
the little tendrils around her face or whatever.
Also,
I want a stress helmet.
I thought that was like a rain hat, and I thought she was going out to the rain, but then I'm like, wait a minute, there's space.
Rain hat.
listeners, if you haven't like watched this on YouTube, this is probably a good episode too because our body language is redonkulous right now. Yeah, so Zenon doesn't really get punished. We're just gonna swoop over that. Swoop. And then Zenon kind of gets distracted because there's this contest where you have to make a
It's like a craft.
action figure
Yeah.
craft
No, I
of
think it's just any submission because didn't Raven Simone do an essay?
Right. That's right.
So
You
it's
just
just
have
like
to
some
gotta
type of
say why you
submission.
want to win the
you gotta
contest.
submit something about why you want to win this contest. So you get to dance on stage with Protozoa at the concert, right? So she's doing that. And then while she's doing this and she submits it, Mr. Windham comes on the space,
Windcam.
and they kind of scold her before. They're like, Zenon,
You got to be good.
don't do anything.
Elon Musk is coming to the SpaceX space station,
And then what is
and
she
you have to be
doing?
nice.
What is she doing? She's in the vent trying to find some recyclable metals and stuff for her project. Like, Zenon, get out of the vent.
She's very resourceful.
Get out of the garbage chute.
I was very surprised at how resourceful they are. I mean, I guess that makes sense because their entire like existence is being resourceful.
Right.
Which I kind of actually really enjoy that, how later in the movie she talks about how they only eat what they can grow, which obviously makes sense, but I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool that she's super resourceful, but they very actively talk about like hanging out in the trash. They are dumpster divers.
Yeah, straight up. Got to get the materials in order to make your tiny little protozoa puppet or whatever it is that she made.
The other day, it's funny that we're talking about dumpster divers because literally 5 days ago, Luis went dumpster diving and I let him know that that was a criminal offense. And he didn't believe me.
What were you looking for in there, Lou?
Through and found California law, FYI, criminal offense.
Dude, I just got a cardboard for
You're a
my
criminal now?
students so I can make them feel appreciated while they were driving through to get their cap and gown that they will never really wear.
Have to remove the old man negative shirt. You know, I think we can't have a criminal blasted on people's chests.
I think it's going to be old man felon.
Old man felon. That's right. We gotta put the prison jumpsuit on him in the picture. Yeah, and he's just grumpy in prison.
Nah, we made a sign out of like a bunch of cardboard. And it actually turned out really cool. It said like, congratulations to the class of 2020 and stuff, but definitely found it in the
Well, that's cool. You guys got your Zenon on. You were just as resourceful as her. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Is that what the phrase is?
Sure.
Okay.
Anyway, so Zenon, as she's like jumping out of the recycle chute, she runs into her parents, giving a tour to Mr. Windham. And she literally is the most,
Wyndham.
I thought she got out of the garbage can and bumped into the dude trying to hack into the memory.
I think that's a little later.
I think that was the second time.
It doesn't matter. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, the point
Neither here nor
is,
there.
She's a serial.
that was the second time, Emily. You're right. That was the second time. So she gets out of the garbage thing, and it's her parents are there, and they're giving a tour, and her parents have like the most worried look on their face. They're like, "Oh God, here comes Zenon.
What's our daughter gonna
Oh,
say?"
No. But she's very, very fake and happy, and they eat it up, right? Like,
Oh yeah, it's the most politician speech I've ever seen.
I love living on the space station. It's great.
Give
The
me creative
most
opportunities to
sorority
move
girl.
forward.
Oh my God, love you.
Penis
You're my best friend.
Yeah, that's about it. And it's fine, and
Rude.
and then
Something bad about us, Michelle.
I
No,
know.
I'm just okay.
Anyways, so
Right.
it works because they're like, who is that nice young girl? And they're like, that's our daughter, and it's all fine. Until she gets kind of a weird look from the assistant. Well, Mr. Lutz.
I think she gets a weird look from both of them.
Yeah, they kind of
Wyndham does
for
his
sure.
his ultra creepy wink thing. 13-year-old girl, and then Lutz, he's just kind of like stalking around.
Yeah, he reminds me of Randall from Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Like,
Randall.
sneaky,
Randall
skinny,
Bob.
little sleazy sleazeball.
Sleazy
What's the
ball.
name of the guy who does his voice? I like him.
Randall?
Yeah, it's the guy with the eyes.
Yeah, the guy with the
Now I
eyes.
have to look it up. Good, keep talking.
Anyways,
Right.
so Zenon is like, I got a weird vibe from them. Like, she tells Nebula she got a weird vibe from them, and they're like, well, whatever. Just
Steve Buscemi.
There you go. I like that guy.
Yeah.
It's funny though because every other person is 100% won over by Mr. Wyndham because
he knows like everything about them, and he has all this knowledge, and that's why at first I thought he was an alien.
I thought he was a robot. I
Wait,
thought
was
he
this
like
when you
I
watched
thought he
it
was a robot. I thought he was an alien.
What'd you say, Lou?
Was this when you were a girl? You thought he was an alien?
No, upon this viewing.
2 days ago when we watched this movie.
Okay.
When I watched it, I thought
it
it
is
was
a
like
space
programmed
movie.
or something. Like
Yeah,
someone
that
was
makes
behind
sense.
it and he was like,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like R2D2.
And then like Lutz was actually the mastermind, and then that Mr. Wyndham was just a robot that he was using.
I was kind of thinking that as well.
That makes sense. But it's okay. So Xenon's distracted
Please stop.
because they're announcing who won the contest to dance with Protozoa,
Mhm.
and lo and behold, Zenon Carr has won.
She did it.
Zetus Lapidus.
Zeus Lapidus.
Super
I thought her
cool
name was
Major.
Zenon Zakar.
Zenon Zakar.
Yeah.
I think it's just Zenon Carr.
Yeah, just Car.
Isn't Zakar the guy from the
It's a planet from Guardians of the
Ravagers?
Galaxy, isn't it? Zakar.
My supernova.
Zakar.
Ravager's main dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is. Okay, yeah. So Xenon wins the contest. So Protozoa is coming up in like the next month, I believe, to come do the rock concert.
And I don't remember why, but Xenon's in the chutes again after this. And when she pops out of the chute, she runs in to Mr. Lutz, and he's trying to break into the main memory bank. It says it in nice big bold letters so everyone can see. Main memory bank.
Mhm.
Don't break in here. Restricted class level 4.
Class 4 restricted
area.
Okay.
So she's like, "What's up, Mr.?" She is a good sweet talker, though. She basically like sweet talks her way out of the situation and makes him walk her back to her room because it's so dark and scary.
It's like the middle of the night.
It's like
and
the middle of the night.
Homeboy is getting his creep on.
It's dark and scary in space all the time. So Zenon, calm down.
Oh yeah.
Um.
I guess it's always nighttime up there.
And so then she keeps telling Nebula too, like, I think he's up to something. And she's like, please leave it alone because he said he's going to refund the project. He's going to give us $5 million, right?
500 million.
$500 million. Wow, that's a big difference, Michelle.
$5 million.
Okay.
In the space station.
But she doesn't listen, and she finds her friend to get the codes again, right?
Yeah, the little dude.
I don't remember his name. But anyway, she's going to get the codes and she's going to break into the restricted area. And Mr. Lutz has like this little CD disc. Is that how CDs used to look? They were so tiny like that.
Well, no.
More of like a memory chippy kind of disc. You know what it really looks like is one of those batteries. What's that battery?
Yes, it looks like a watch battery.
VR 2022.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Which is almost
And
definitely what the prop was.
He basically puts it in the main memory bank and clicks some buttons and then takes the disc and
Which is like a CD-ROM.
Yes.
yeah, and then like puts it in his pocket, but like we don't know what he's doing, right? And so Zenon gets out and she tries to figure out the code because she wrote it on her hand, but it's smudged. And that should be your cue, Zenon, to dip out if you don't remember the code on your hand because it's smudged everywhere.
The code was to get out. Like she broke in beforehand, and the code was to let her out of the main memory bank. But
I would
she
have
had.
just sat in that memory bank until morning, till somebody opened it.
But I think
like,
they opened it right then. I guess they had suspected.
no, she
some-
set it off because she typed in
Oh,
the wrong
that's
code.
right.
Why don't you put it in
That's
wrong?
right.
Yeah, and she
You just
is
looked
in
at
trouble.
Andre.
Yeah, sorry. I should
And
have
so,
attention.
now her parents are like both very mad, and their punishment apparently meets the crime, and she is getting earthed,
She's getting grounded.
grounded. Yeah.
Sent back to Earth to live with her Aunt Judy. But hang on, let's go back.
I don't remember Zenon going to Earth.
Let's go back 1 second, because while Lutz was executing his masterful plan of downloading data onto this little disk, he takes it, he leaves the main memory bank, and then he goes to slip it into his shirt pocket and just completely misses, drops the disk on the ground and walks away. Like the biggest idiot I've ever seen.
Gotta
in my
love
life.
Decon.
You came up to space to carry out this mission, and it failed because you didn't put the thing in all the way in your pocket. Goodness gracious, man.
Well, I don't know so much if that I don't think he needed it really anymore. I mean, it's important to
It was
like
like
clean up the
evidence.
evidence.
Right.
It's the evidence. But like he planted what he
The
needed to
virus.
plant.
That's true.
So he's just a really bad cover-up man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely could have got himself caught
But I totally agree with you.
that move.
Like, you had one job, brah.
He had
Yeah.
one job.
And so since Xenon's leaving, Nebula decides to make Zenon a gift, and she finds the disc on the ground, and it's pretty and shiny, right? So she makes her an earring out of it, which is just Hilarious. DComs. Where do you come up with these ideas, man? It's
Here's
the best.
one earring for you.
One earring, just one earring, Zenon. Here you go. And
Dude, she was the precursor to one eyebrow.
Yeah, for the one eyebrow ring.
okay, so this next part, all of it is a stretch because now that I know more about space, Zenon would never be able to go down to Earth that quickly without some muscle training. Like, girl, your muscles are so not atrophied. Thank you. That's the word. Not ready for Earth. So when she's on Earth and she's like, I'm like, nah, you wouldn't even be able to do that.
Well, actually, I mean, I guess so. They have the
She's been there like most of her life.
You're right. She's been there for since she was like 4 or something like that.
Like 5, I think.
Yeah.
But whatever.
They have artificial gravity on this space
Apparently.
station because the space station is rotating and in a similar fashion that the Earth does. So there is gravity on it. So I guess and they presumably have their stationary bikes that she mentions a little bit later. So they do get regular exercise.
Yeah.
It's just that gravity, real gravity, is definitely different on Earth than it would be compared to their artificial.
Well, and they said something about it being like it adds 20 pounds to you or something.
Right, yeah. You'll feel 30 pounds heavier on Earth than you do.
Which I will tell you that 30 pounds makes a huge difference because when you're pregnant and then you're automatically not pregnant anymore, it's like...
You're like,
Whoa.
wow, movement in my body.
I'm jumping 10 feet in the air.
Like, let me...
That's so funny. Yeah, so... It's just funny. They probably told her like make yourself look like you can't move, and she's like, carrying her bags and stuff.
Some masterful acting.
And then she straight up tells Wyndham before she leaves, she's like hecka mad. She's like, you may fool everybody else, but you don't fool me. And he just storms off, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, his freaking wings.
Disgusting.
He almost was just looking at her like, who do you think you are? Like, didn't even acknowledge her. Like, you're just some 13-year-old
supernova girl.
Yeah.
So I think now would be a good time to, I guess, should we tell them what Wyndham's plan is now?
I mean,
I hope that you watched this in 99.
In case you forgot, Wyndham's plan is to blow up the space station so he can collect the insurance money.
Which is straight up nuts. Like, it's the most evil thing.
Yeah, Audrey was like, dude, he is a villain.
There are at least hundreds, if not thousands of people on this space station that is currently in its 27th year of running and collecting research and data.
He needs that insurance money, I guess.
He's desperate if he needs that money.
I guess so. Like,
they made it sound that way. So they, which I think is fantastic. Okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead to this part because I was like, what kind of teenager is looking up company annual reports? Okay, I didn't even know what an annual report was until I was like about to graduate college.
Right.
Okay, and yeah. Anywho, so they're looking, and how they figure out that this is his plan is they go onto the company's annual report summary.
They're looking at all the spreadsheets.
They're looking at the spreadsheets and seeing that they're having all of these like capital losses. And she figures out that because he just promised $500 million to continue the research and like help fix whatever issues are going on at the space station, he must then be wanting to do something to sabotage the space station because he is losing money.
Makes sense.
That is literally like so bad.
13-year-old girl figuring things out. You go, Zenon.
It's really ridiculous because
like when your restaurant's losing money and you burn it down. I mean,
exactly.
What happened to that gas station down the street from where you guys live?
Oh yeah, those Oasis.
But the thing is, with an insurance scam like that, where you're burning down your own gas station or whatever, you can do that at night when everybody's gone. What you can't do with a space station that's in space and full of thousands of people is that they're all still just going to be up there. Yeah, he even could have done like let's pull everybody off so we can do some external maintenance or whatever. Like, nah, let's just blow the whole thing up and kill everybody.
Well, and the best part was
destroy all the children that live up on the space station.
Well, and like the masterful plan was that he went up there. He went
personally.
Explained the virus.
He was going to give all of this money, hype everybody up. You're going to be refunded. Blah blah blah. And then he's going to take a superstar and send them up into space.
Right.
Have this once-in-a-lifetime rock concert
Mhm.
and blow it up while he's on it.
Like,
That's
what in the
rough.
world? Okay, Dr.
Because
Evil.
why or how could he ever be connected if he had done that?
Yeah. It's a basically a foolproof
It's a
plan.
foolproof plan. I mean,
Minus
come
Lutz. The Klutz.
Yeah,
Lutz
but-
the Klutz.
But Lutz
Comes out.
unfortunately tells Windham that he lost the chip. He lost the evidence, and he knows that Zenon has it, but Zenon doesn't at this point. So Zenon meets up with Aunt Judy. I love Aunt Judy.
She's pretty great.
She is great. She's my spirit animal. She loves Zenon because she thinks Zenon's so brave and she's scared of everything. She doesn't want to have a relationship and all this stuff, and it's so great.
And won't
Also,
travel.
Married.
Aunt Judy gonna take her to a restaurant on the first day. You go, Aunt Judy. The cutest thing is she's like, there's hamburgers and fries and hot dogs. Do you eat this? And Zenon is like, no, I don't. All of my food is ethically sustained
and processed.
and
grown
blah,
in a
blah,
lab.
blah.
Technically sustained, I dig it.
It's ridiculous. So while they're at the restaurant, we're introduced to, eventually going to be her friends.
It's
kind
cute
of.
boy Greg. It's mean girl Melanie. It's who's the other kid that's there?
I don't know.
It's
X-Ray.
The nerdy black guy and the nerdy white guy.
nerdy black guy, and then Bad Bangs. Those are the friends that she has
Bad
on
Bang.
Earth.
Yeah, and Mean
That
Melanie
guy's
is
got a lot
already
of
being
face
mean because
and
Greg is kind of
hair.
looking. Greg is looking at Zenon ooh, who's that tall glass of water?
From
He
space.
looks at her creepily from
Very
the moment he
creepily.
sees her.
Yeah, 13-year-old boys do, man. Have you seen a 13-year-old boy check out a girl? It's nasty. I've seen it at work. Okay, it's nasty.
Turns out adults do that same exact look. You
They
know?
do that same exact look.
It's true.
It's not that look. It's more like.
Dougie's trying to make his way over.
Okay, I will say then that my look was much better than your look.
Right.
Say hi, Dougie.
You did the 13-year-old girl. I did the 13-year-old boy.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So she starts making her new friends. Melanie is put off by her because she thinks she's gonna steal her non-boyfriend
Greg.
Man.
which she totally does. Greg sets up a little date for Zenon eventually after they
They go
kind
to
of get
school.
Like a
to
whole bunch of hodgy-podgy middle part, which is cute, but not worth repeating.
Yeah,
right.
they just
Watch
go to
it.
school and, whatever. So Greg asks if he can take Zenon to dinner, and Aunt Judy's like, yeah, sure. And I love that, after their date and all of this, and it's, raining, and they try to kiss, and it's bad or whatever, that Aunt Judy opens the door, and she's like, wow, you're doing 3 days on Earth, and you're doing so much better than me. Aunt Judy is freaking hilarious,
And
dude.
she was like, oh my god. Is
Well,
that
it's
how easy
really
it is to
funny
get a date?
because you guys know I have let's not put it on.
Okay.
Let's not make it official online. But I have one aunt that I love beyond measure. Her
Right.
name is Aunt Judy.
Ah.
And Aunt Judy is not even my aunt. What is she, my great aunt
Yeah.
or something? She's my great aunt.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Aunt Judy, okay, is also Adeline's favorite because Aunt Judy's the business.
I
So
love it.
when this Aunt Judy came on screen, she was like, oh, Aunt Judy?
Oh
It's
my
so
gosh, that is so
That's so
cute.
cool.
And I was like, that's Aunt Judy. And she's like, oh,
Not nine, Judy.
no.
That's not the Aunt Judy I wanted.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But I agree, Michelle. This lady was hilarious. I really liked her. She was
So funny.
the good amount of, I don't want to say dumb because she wasn't dumb, but she was a good amount of fluttery and flitzy.
Sure.
So you could tell she really cared about Zenon and loved her
Mhm.
family. She was just afraid of things, so she wasn't gonna go up to space or
Yeah.
to
travel.
visit, she's like, no,
Nah.
I'm okay.
And I
Yeah.
Stay
really
on
feel
Earth.
bad for her because I think she was abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her entire
Zemon's
family
even
went up
like,
to
why
space.
do you like Earth? And she's like, oh, it's great. It's the beauty of it. As Zenon sneezes, she's like,
Right. She's experiencing a rain for the first time, and she can't swim because she's never been in water. And
They definitely made sneezing sound much worse than it is, but I guess if you had never known what a sneeze was, it sounds kind of scary.
yeah, it is like a violent eruption from your face, I suppose.
you're like, whoa.
But it's normal.
Welcome to the valley, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm giving my dog a foot massage
You ever
right
heard of
now. He loves
allergies
it.
before, Zenon?
Allergies? Oh God.
So,
Come to
so yes.
Central Valley of California, and you can learn all about it.
Is that what our accent is?
Also on their date, he like introduces her to a horse, and she's like terrified of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
right? And Andre was like, "Nays before bays."
Nays before bays, right there.
Nays before bays,
It's,
right
it's
there.
always there.
Right there.
She's like, he's got to stay in this little box, right? It's like, I thought you weren't scared.
Anyway, so at this point, now that she's friends with Greg, we find out that Greg is like really good at hacking into stuff, and he's the one who hacks into Wyndham's like database without breaking a sweat
on the 2049 school computers, which are like Windows 95 PCs.
And then they find it out like really, really fast. And he's like, well, what did you do? Why did Lutz look at you that way? She's like, well, I turned like this. And he was like, were you wearing that earring? And she was like, see, this is a penis. It was a disc. I was like, wow, they figured that out like so quick, right?
Yeah, very convenient.
Which is hilarious.
Well, and then the nerdy kid comes out here, and he's like uber hacker too, and they're like, oh, let me just.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because he figured out what it was, that it's a virus, but his poor computer like
Oh yeah, it exploded.
smoked and bit the dust. And he comes to school the next day. He's like, it's a virus. Per my computer, that doesn't exist anymore.
I also like all their chunky iPads that they carry around with each other. That's why they all have like those bags slung across their shoulders, is to carry this 5-pound iPad that that allows them to call people.
It's so good.
Hilarious. Basically, they figure it out, and then that hacker dude is so good. He's like, but it's okay. I put on this disc like how to reverse the virus. So like, here you go.
We're good.
We're good. We're good. But you know, the only way you can reverse the virus is to put it back in the main data bank on the ship.
On the space station. So we got to go back to space.
We gotta go back. Let's call Nebula. There's a ship that leaves like right now. So get in. And then this is where they have that whole scene with Melanie and Greg where she's like, oh, Zenon's leaving. Goodbye. And he's like, I will never be your boyfriend. I never was. I never will be. And this is just where DComs are so good, right? They're so dramatic. And I think even at one point, Zenon says something about like, oh my gosh, I'm 13. And I'm like, daddy, I love him. Like, all
I
right.
said out loud, but daddy, I love him.
So did I. And I was like, maybe this is why I like Zenon. Like, I don't know. It's just instead of the ocean, it's space. It's fine. It's whatever.
I really like.
It's the next frontier, Michelle. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
I really like that they have to take this like self-driving car. They steal one of the kids' parents' cars.
Oh my god! Isn't it like a PT Cruiser or something?
It's a
bug.
Oh, it's a bug. It's a
Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, but in their defense, in 1999, those cars were legit. Everybody wanted one of those.
I would like to remind you that this
Emily
movie
had one.
takes place in 2049.
My mom has had
I'd
of
like,
those things.
yeah, I'd like to remind you that was my favorite car I've ever had.
Yeah, my mom had the electric blue, and then when that one bit the dust, she got the yellow one, which she still has, by the way, and loves. So
Love.
I just love that in 2049, all the Teslas are VW bugs. That's the most amazing part.
And in 2020, VW bugs got
discontinued. Yeah, they didn't even make that car
in
anymore.
like 2019 or whatever. Yeah. No more bugs. I know my mom has like a classic car now. She better never get rid of it.
Yeah. So they
Tell her that at 100,000 miles, those transmissions go kaputty.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
Throw
They're
it out there.
not a well put together car, but are they cute? Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Very cute.
The old
Our
ones were
kids
really-
won't know what slug bug yellow is.
Ow! She hit me
Sorry.
right in my
Or the new
collarbone. So they take the car back to a place where they can get on a ship to get back up to the ship station. It's also the same place where Protozoa and Microbe, the band, are gonna be getting on their ships to go up to the space station.
So they have the brilliant idea of like, well, if this space shuttle left, you just got to go get on Microbes, right? And Zenon, they're crazy. They just like get in the car. They go up to the security guard and they're like, "You're Zenon car. We have to detain you." And she's like, "Bye." And like,
I like how they tell her too. Well, we're on authority to detain you, and he's like prison. Well, yeah, we have to take you right to Mr. Schmitty.
No security guard would ever say that.
also, if they took her to Wyndham, he probably would have killed her. Like, not gonna lie.
I mean,
Don't you think? He was straight up evil.
ready to kill all kinds of people, as I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
But this movie really lives in a pre 9/11 security version
Yeah,
of 2049.
yeah, that's true.
Where they just blast through the gate. They don't even have those tire stopping thingies.
And also the security guards are dumb. So she goes up to Protozoa and is like, "Hi, I'm Zenon Carr. I'm the winner. You know, I'm here on Earth. I need to get back to space." And he's like, "Okay, I'll put you on my ship."
Let's go, love.
And they're like, "No, we need to detain her." And he's like, "Try me," right? Because
He's like,
Protozoa.
let me talk to you, love.
He's like, "Do you want to be a security guard or do you want to be a rock star?" And the security guard's like,
Yeah, Rockstar!
That was so
Let's go.
awesome.
So hilarious. And Zenon gets on the ship. But so does Aunt Judy, because she's trying to look for Zenon, and she runs in to freaking Wyndham.
it's Wyndham and Lutz.
And she's like, "What did you do to my niece?" Basically. And she's like, "What's your
He
problem?"
definitely grows some and is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She tells them off, but then they all get on the shuttle because they realize Zenon is on it, right? And they like trap Lutz and Wyndham like in the cargo stuff in the back. So that Aunt Judy and Zenon get off, and they're like, okay, immediately Aunt Judy's living her best life. Okay, she runs into the freaking ship general and is like, "Hello, living my best life." Ain't no back up to do, baby.
We also have to say that this entire time while Zenon has been trying to get back up to the space station has been malfunctioning because of the virus.
Because of the virus.
So it is all hitting the
well,
fan
and then
right
it's like
now.
really bad when she calls her parents and is like, "The space station's gonna break down," and they're like, "Nah, everything's fine and dandy." And then they're like, "How did she know it's breaking down? She really wants to get back to the space station so bad." I was like, "Oh, you guys are idiots."
You didn't want to take just one further jump in logic and say that she was maybe right or maybe
or even just like ask her, like, "Well, how do you know that?"
Right.
Like,
it's like, oh, okay, if
Yeah.
you look in the main memory bank, there should be a virus implanted in there if you guys want to, take a
Yeah,
look
but
and
they like
shut
wouldn't
it
even
down.
listen to her, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. She gets there, and what happens after this? Emily, you just recently watched this. What happens?
I think that she has Yoda on her shirt, or the child.
It's the child.
Yes, it's the
I
child.
think Louise thought there was like a potato sack or something
I was
because his whole
like-
face was covered.
Oh, with my hair? Yeah, this is the child.
Yeah, he's definitely wearing a potato sack.
Speaking of, when they got stuck in the cargo hold, I thought of The Mandalorian, because isn't that where he keeps getting stuck away, like
Yes.
traveling? Anywho, so at this point, the ship is like 100% malfunctioning.
Right. It's going to shut down in like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah, and you hear like we're shutting down. They get like an like an overcom announcement, like
Yeah.
the ship has flatlined.
And Lutz and Wyndham are so mad. They were like, "We weren't supposed to be on the ship when it exploded." So they go out there and they're like, "We need an immediate ship to leave right now." And they're like, "Yeah, freaking right. We have to like rest these fuel cells and all this stuff and gas up, So that's just ridiculous. It would have kind of been funny if they were on the ship when it exploded. That's karma for you.
With
all those other 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So long story short, she gets locked in the captain's office and this and that. Nebula comes and saves them, and then she finally gets the chip that Nerdy Boy put the antivirus on, and she gets it into the main memory bank, and she's putting in the codes. I just wish we would have known what the code was, because that was the only part that made zero sense, that like she puts the disk into the computer, and then the computer's like, password, and she's like typing it in, and it's like, not correct, password, error, password, incorrect, and then finally at the last second
she gets it right.
she gets it right. And I'm like, what was it? I love Protozoa, like, because the guy really liked
And why couldn't
Micro.
she remember the
It was-
password?
she's-
Zenon, this is important.
She's just making a bunch of typos the times before. It's like, if you don't spell this right, we are all going to blow up.
I know
Let's
you're
go.
13, but get it together.
Come on.
Like Patty trying to clean up, and she's actually playing as she's cleaning up.
And then the best part of the movie happens after this. So since Protozoa and Microbe are already there, they're like, "Hey, baby, shout out to Zenon."
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Not 10
Shout out to
minutes ago.
Xena.
Let's do this concert.
She just saved this whole space station from blowing up. So we're gonna dedicate this next song to her. It's called Zoom Zoom Zoom.
Actually, we're going to dedicate it to her, dedicating it to her lover boy, Greg,
Yeah.
who's on the little...
And they use
Not
the
smiling,
same
looking
shot
like
of
a
him
creep.
every single time on that, where he's like, just like,
I'm
hey.
enjoying music.
Like, I at least wanted to see him, like,
Yeah, no, they just use just him smiling. He's so boring. But Emily, spoiler alert, we watched a clip from Zenon the sequel, and like the very first scene is Zenon being like, "Oh, Greg broke up with me." And I'm like, yeah, no crap. You guys never even kissed and you lived like thousands of miles away.
They had to write Greg out, you know.
They had to write
he's
Greg out.
definitely the most interesting, girl he's ever gonna get.
And
Right.
also they like recast Nebula, I'm pretty sure.
They
She's
did.
like not even, it's
In-
not Raven, it's
in the
like a
sequel.
different girl.
She had already booked
watching
That's So Raven by that point. You know, she's too busy
Too
for
busy.
Zenon.
Anyway, so yeah, they still have the best part, which is zoom, 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 make my
yeah.
heart go boom, boom.
My
Interplanetary megasonic hydrostatic. There's no
gravity between us. Our love is automatic.
Hey, that song holds up still.
Somebody
Dope.
was just having the best time writing the lyrics for this song.
They were like, let's write every space word in there.
Gravity, automatic,
Gravity, interstellar, hydrostatic,
hyperspace.
hyperspace.
Fantastic.
Light speed.
Yeah. So, and Lutz and Wyndham, they got arrested on the ship and whatnot. And
You know what, though? Here's the thing about that song. It's so 90s.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So I'm not even going to pretend like I don't like it.
I like it. I like
I
90s
don't
music.
like it.
It definitely reminds me of something that I would have been beat bopping to at that time.
For sure, that was like some 98-degree stuff going on there.
I mean, yeah. That's
Make my
that's
heart
the
go
thing about
boom,
this movie.
boom, I'm
is that it's-
supernova girl.
It's intensely 90s. Like, it's set in the future, but everything about it, every word that comes out of Xenon's mouth is directly from the 90s.
Well, and
Yeah,
funny
it's
because
90s.
I hate, like, as much as I don't like her extra, like, major and minor and blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah.
I thought it was funny.
Extra don't like the people on Earth who are like
Mondo.
It's super alpha.
It's viral.
Mondo, yeah, alpha major. Yeah, their lingo is worse, right? I like
I know.
space
I'm
lingo
down
better.
with the space lingo.
Yeah, space lingo is much better than 2049 teenager lingo. On Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, our lingo ain't great here now too. I always say I ship that, and I'm like, dang it, I got this from those dang millennials. say
You.
I'm not a millennial.
You are a millennial.
Okay, I got
You
it
are
from
a
those
millennial.
Gen Zs. I
It's
got it
the
from
Gen
those.
Zers.
Got it from those Gen Zers.
It's
And actually,
the
I think-
Gen Xenons.
I think it was the millennials when we were younger who came up with relationship and shipping and all of that stuff.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, it was
don't,
us.
Don't
then.
give it credit to them youngins.
I will say though that Luis doesn't usually get on that train, but he definitely will talk about when someone's eyebrows are on fleek.
Mm.
Oh,
When we talk about fleekiness of eyebrows.
bleak.
He'll be like, "Ooh, her eyebrows are on fleek."
Well,
Remember when he told you that your eyebrows were on fleek the day before your wedding?
yeah, he did. I was like, thank you.
But he wasn't talking about your eyebrows.
Said it was my eyelashes.
No, he said your eyebrows were on fleek, but he was talking about your eyelashes, which made
He
it
was
even
talking
better.
about my eyelashes.
A good observation either
They
way.
were on fleek. Just saying, they were good. Anyways, this movie, thumbs up, dude. I liked it so much.
Well, and like we said earlier, in as much as I didn't like Smart House the second time around, I mean, I tried to like it, and there's some nostalgic
I
value
tried
there.
to.
Like, this one was actually a good movie. Like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it
Like,
held
the
up.
drama
Like,
was-
it held up. Like, the writing wasn't terrible. Like, it was pretty good. The storyline was pretty good. Like, you could make a modern day movie about that and about some people having to go up and save a space station from blowing up and like
Passengers.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like,
passengers.
it's still-
passengers and gravity.
Yeah.
And
it still holds up. Like, it's
And
good.
have to go outside.
The thing about space is it's always going to be there, so those movies are going to keep coming. So
That's true.
Smart House, no, it didn't hold up. But this one, I think it held up. Johnny Tsunami, that still held up for me. That was good. Are
That was a
those
good
the
one.
only three we've done so far?
I
think that's
believe
it.
so, yes.
So, there's not really any money or anything to be said, but is there like ratings? Like, what is the consensus about Zenon?
Yeah, there's.
I would say it's pretty popular.
There is a Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, but that is purely because there are audience views.
Yeah.
So right now, this has an audience score
Oh.
of 62%. That's based on 7,000 user ratings. There's no general consensus, but I think people at the time that this came out generally enjoyed it, but it's hard to tell. It's a TV movie, you know. Yeah, the reception thing, it just directs you right back to Rotten Tomatoes.
So who knows?
Yeah, it is a TV movie that came out in the 90s, but we can say that this one was the first one to garner sequels. So the executives at Disney liked the idea enough to keep it going.
It also says Walt Disney Home Video released it on VHS in September of 2000, and I don't really think I don't think they really did that for Disney Channel original movies. So
I would
it must have
assume
been
not.
Yeah.
popular.
Also, I did read that it was a failed TV pilot for a proposed television series. So I think the reason that they had so much material for sequels was because they were originally going to make this as a TV show.
Oh.
But it being made into 3 movies, that seems like a pretty good deal to me. You know,
Interesting.
especially for
It was
Kirsten
filmed in
Storms.
Vancouver.
If
Yeah,
you're gonna do
Canada.
it,
Not doing it for them.
oh, you're doing it for yourself. Okay.
Canada.
Yeah, so that's it. There's no money because it came out on TV. I don't know what Disney is reaping the profits on for Zenon.
All right. Well, let's give it our ratings. Luis, I'm going to start with you. What would you give Zenon?
I'd give it a 7 because I didn't hate anybody on it, and I didn't hate the movie.
Good. Yeah, I like that. Do you think she was the girl of the 21st century?
No.
She was the troublemaker of the 21st century.
No,
If she was my kid, I would have. Luis and I looked at each other multiple times like, oh, heck. She getting into some real trouble. Not just kind of trouble. That's like real trouble.
Yeah, she was doing the most.
Zenon.
Like
girl.
the life-threatening trouble.
In my notes, I kept describing her as Harry Potter, but the thing about Harry Potter getting into all the trouble that he gets into is that
He has to.
his parents are gone and his guardians don't care about him. So it's very interesting
Yeah.
seeing these parents come down super hard on her because they're there and they can, and it just gets her sent away from Hogwarts basically, right? She just has to go.
It's like she has things to lose and doesn't seem to care.
Right.
Harry doesn't really have things to lose, and he's just trying to find answers most of the time.
Right. He's at,
Yeah.
he's
Or
at
not
sort of
die.
the bottom, you know. I'm
Yeah,
gonna just climb my way up.
Zenon needed some discipline, but her parents were too into their work.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
that.
Well, Luis, I'm happy that you liked it. Andre, you could go next. What are you going to give this movie?
I will give this movie a.
But remember too that this is like a DCOM score. It's
Right.
not like a regular movie score, so it's probably higher.
Yes, we're talking
With
about
all
DCOM
day.
stuff.
Yes. I think in terms of the Disney Channel original movies, I'm going to give this movie an 8. It was
Sorry.
Dougie did not agree, but it was perfectly enjoyable.
Hey.
As much as the performances maybe weren't top notch, stellar, the plot was fun, and I really liked watching all of the 90s future technology. That was really the best part of this. Between the holograms and the AirPods and the chunky iPads, I was having a blast watching this. So yeah, 8.
Very good. Okay, so in terms of DCOMs, we did Descendants, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that's right, we did that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this movie was way better than Descendants,
Did we
in
do-
my
Did
opinion.
we do High School Musical too?
We
No.
didn't do High School Musical. I made you watch
Oh,
it.
that's right.
This was like really
Well, not
good
all
for a
being together.
DCOM. Like, I want to watch the sequels, which is kind of crazy. So I'm giving this a 9. I think this is high up there on my DCOM list. Like, granted, we still need to watch quite a few more, but in terms of like the ones we've watched so far, like this one tops them in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a really good DCOM movie. I think it still holds up 21 years later. It's still really fun. I'll probably show it to my kids. I don't think I'll show my kids like Descendants unless they want to watch it. You know what I mean? But I like this one. I'm going to give it a 9. Emily.
Boom.
I too will give it a 9 for DCOM. I liked it a lot. I think that even though she was getting in trouble, she wasn't that bad. And now that I actually have kids, like you just said, like I think about the Descendants and like I feel like there's a lot of stuff you have to talk to your kids about. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I feel like there's stuff where I'd be like, really don't do that. Like really
Yeah.
don't say that. That's really not how things are.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
like you see why she's getting in trouble. Do you see why she's getting grounded? Like, you can explain it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And honestly, that Zoom 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 song, it took it up for me.
A
Like,
killer. That's a killer.
it's up
I even
here.
the lingo.
Hey, Andre,
Yo,
it's got a bop.
this
It's
movie
a
is
bop.
bop approved. Okay, it's got a 100% bop in there. It's bop-tacular. Zoom, the app that we're using to record this on right now, should adopt this song and use it in their ads. That's
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
make my heart go boom, boom.
What would they
Supernova
do?
app.
Oh my gosh. It's
Make your meetings go boom, boom, boom.
make your meetings go boom, boom.
Yes.
I love it. Well,
You're welcome, Zoom.
I'm
Mhm.
really happy we decided to watch it. So it was kind of a spur of the moment for us listeners. We were like, what are we going to do to end out this month? Let's throw in a decom. And
I do have to throw it out there, though, that listener Claire, her name is Love Claire Bear, always on Instagram. She has suggested this multiple times to me
Oh.
in person, but also
Claire, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Claire. I very much was like, I don't know, like you, Michelle, but
Yeah, because I was so
Thoroughly
excited
enjoyed
about Smart House and it let me down. And that's why I was like, I needed some time off, you know? I needed
and I even misquoted you to her, Andre. I said that you had watched this and you didn't like it rewatching it. I thought that you had said that.
No.
No.
Was there a different Disney Channel original movie that you had watched and didn't like?
I mean, I guess Smart House, but in my brain
No,
right
you
now,
liked that one,
I
though.
still like Smart House. Yeah. So I don't
No,
think.
I thought that you had said you watched something and were like, oh, no, that didn't hold up. But
I think it was me that said that
maybe.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know.
in regards to Smart House.
Who
But
knows?
Zenon, you are legit. I like you. I might watch the sequel in Z3 and just see how it goes. I don't know. I'm in quarantine. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I'm trying to see those data pads get less chunky over time. You
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Get a little more smooth.
Love it.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening to this Xenon episode. Next
Next month.
month, well, it's next week still technically. We are gonna
Next weekend month.
we are gonna jump into a different style of movies that we have gone to before.
Yeah, we've done every summer.
Yes, we are
How,
going.
how does the song go? Like the intro song for this company of movies. Yeah.
Ba, 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 da, ba, ba, da, ba.
That's what I think.
We're doing it right, Lou. We are jumping back into our Summer of Heroes.
What song was I singing then?
You were singing the beginning part of that song. It led into exactly where we started singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We were both right.
We were all
Luis,
right.
you don't know what you're doing, okay? Whatever.
So
I
next
don't know why Luis
Luis
ran
is gonna
away.
break his back right now. He's literally.
I was
Yes,
perfectly
you
fine. My
guys
spine
were-
was straight.
We're going back into our Summer of Heroes, which is some of our favorite every year. And if you're a new listener, just know that the way this podcast and journey kind of started is that us four decided we were going to watch every single Marvel movie the year before leading up to Infinity War, and we
Oh.
did it.
We
That's
decided this when we were driving on the way to Disneyland.
It was when Doctor Strange was gonna come out.
right.
Okay, when Doctor Strange was coming. Yes, we did do this on the way to Disneyland, Lou. But also, we did watch all those movies. Yes, you're right. Doctor Strange.
In order together.
Oh,
in
yes.
order, literally
It was a long
together,
time.
physically, every single movie.
What a world, right?
Ah, what a world
The
we
past.
lived in. So yes, if you have
I'll write a history book about us.
if you want to do the same thing we did, go for it. You got all summer, okay?
But you don't have to. That's not what we're doing right now.
No, we're
Next week, we are going to be watching the 2015 Marvel film Avengers: Age of Ultron.
not. Yes. So far, and go back and listen to our previous content.
I want
For
to say this is my
movies-
favorite
Are you guys
Avengers
sure?
movie.
You think so? I think it's mine too, but there's
Like
so
for
many.
an Avengers movie.
We did the original Avengers, and we've done Infinity War.
Correct.
And we're gonna wrap up some Avengers movies this month. But we're starting with Age of Ultron, which is a good one. I'm excited. I love Marvel movies. I hope you guys do too and listen along with us because this is the first summer that Andre and I will not be at Disneyland for Summer of Heroes. So
Oh, well, yeah, no one's there.
one's
Shout
there.
out to everyone on Earth
shout out to the Rona.
not being at
Not
Disney.
about you, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's about everybody. Okay?
we have made the hard decision to not go to Disneyland this summer.
Not by choice, but by necessity.
Thank you for respecting our decision. No. So yeah, join us next week as we watch the second Avengers movie, Avengers Age of Ultron. And in the meantime, between now and then, go to our bonfire link. Check out our new merch that's in the store.
I'm about to hit it up right now.
Go to @the Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Go there, see the designs in their
Baby
in their
Yoda's
full force.
dancing, right?
We'll post the clips that all the shirts refer to, so you can have some background on them. And what else was I going to say? I guess I said, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on right now. Leave a review, a rating on iTunes and Spotify and all those good places. Hit a like on YouTube if you're there. Go support us on Patreon at patreon.com/thewaltvault for some extra content. And you can send an email, as always, to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. We'll read your message.
Hey, didn't we get a new listener from another country, Emily?
We did.
From Ireland?
A super fun shout out to
give a shout out.
Give me a second because I don't want to.
It's so funny because we always do these shout outs, but these new listeners we get are on like episode 10, and we're like, see you at episode 101.
Here's the deal. Her Instagram handle is just 19.
Okay.
So I didn't want to mess that up. Her name is 19. I don't know.
Like the word spelled out, 19 or 19?
Long story short, she's from Ireland and she really thinks we're hilarious. She found us and she thought we were going to be like really dry facts on Disney. And she appreciated the fact that we sometimes can be comedic.
And
she said that she has multiple times urinated herself. She thought we were funny, and then
thanks, Claire.
We like her.
This isn't Claire.
We are a family-friendly podcast, but that doesn't mean we're.
But that doesn't mean we're not also a little racist.
I just had to bleep a couple things.
We're family-friendly, so you can listen to us with your kids in the background and not worry about them being scarred or whatever. That's the main reason.
That's the main reason.
Yeah.
Unless you're listening to the Lion King episode, because you'll definitely get scarred there.
That's not our fault. That's Disney's fault.
I think, it's your fault a little bit, Miss Mufasa Daddy, who kept saying that.
Ooh.
All right.
We should make a shirt that says
with a lion on
Disney
it.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Hashtag Disney Dads. And it's like
goodness.
Mufasa and like Zeus and like.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so
mainly
much
Mufasa.
for listening to this episode.
What's Mulan's dad's name?
That is a Disney dad for sure.
Goodness gracious.
And Dennis Quaid from.
Stop it. Leave a comment down below on who your favorite Disney dad is and what you think of the Disney Channel original movies. If you're ready for some more Marvel next week, let us know all of that stuff. We love to hear from you guys. That's been it for now. We will see you next week for some Marvel goodness. The vault is now closed.